You're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo!
Brook?
He said 157 he'll fight you.
I think it's too small.
Too small?
Too small, yeah. You know, my focus on 160 in middle division right now. Brook or everybody just trash talk, you know.
That's what's up. So,
everything good on your end?
yeah, everything good, man. I'm just trying to get these videos together, man. So, man, Golovkin.
What fucking clip you got, nigga?
Oh, what's up?
I'll save it for the video.
It's all good. We recording right now. So.
Nigga, what a fucking video you had. He's too small. 157, he's too small.
Yeah, you know that's kind of hard. That makes it kind of hard to sell the fight when you say something like that. You know.
Oh,
man.
That was a hell of a clip, dude. Man.
Hey,
For real.
that's what.
I was like, because I had it too, but I forgot about it because we did the interview together at the forum, right?
That's right. Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah.
We sure did. Yeah.
That was some good shit, man.
For sure. Good looking, man. I mean, hey, how much is a curveball is this though, man?
Hey, it came out of nowhere, Dante, but you know, I was telling my subscribers that it's like that beautiful woman you see in the club, right? You're like, damn, I want to meet her my wife, right? And
Yeah.
then you find out she got 3 kids. You're like, oh, shit, fuck it. You know what I mean? It looks good on paper. Everything looks good on paper, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, the promo looks good. Brooks got 43 abs. Triple G got 24 knockouts in a row, I think it is, or whatever the number is.
Yeah.
In reality,
Yeah.
Brooks ain't been hit by a 160-pounder, man.
Yeah.
You only want 70-80% of sparring. That getting hit by a 180, 170 kid, fight night,
Hey,
forget about it. You
but-
know,
but listen, but I'm gonna say this though, Fred. I mean, I've always believed the main fight, of course, you know, me and I think the majority of boxing fans from day one, we wanted Golovkin versus Ward. Once I realized that wasn't going to happen, I said, you know what? If he's, you know, okay, he said he want to unify the titles, so I'll see if he can unify the titles. Right now we know he can't unify the titles because at least right now, Billy Joe Saunders, he doesn't want the fight. Danny Jacobs, you know, he's saying a couple different things, but you know, he said he may be ready after the Sergio Mora fight. So I said to myself, if we can't get Golovkin versus Lara, I personally wouldn't mind Golovkin versus a Kell Brook fight. You know, if worst case scenario and you can't get any of those other guys. And I don't know.
It's going to be tough, Dante, because remember, Triple G is moving forward and throwing punches, man.
Yeah.
I think Kell Brook has a fit, but it's a slim one because, man, it's like it looks, you know, it looks good on paper, man. It looks great on paper. The aesthetic is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
She got a fake ass, she got fake titties, she got cosmetic surgery. And let me tell you, your kids will not look like that. It's not going, man. Kell Brook will look amazing. He's going to talk the part. He has the accent. I say this as a straight man. He's a good-looking kid. You know what I mean? It's in his hometown. But the outcome will still be the same. I think it'll be 24, 25 knockouts in a row. I think he's a lot more durable than Willie Monroe and the Wades of the world. But at the end of the day, I can't see this guy.
12 rounds. 12 rounds is a long time, right?
12 rounds. And you know, I think about everything. My initial reaction was like, whoa, this came out of nowhere. Kind of like Khan and Canelo, right? But when you look at it, it's like, damn, they playing the same game. So who was right in the Canelo? You know, who was right?
Yeah.
You know, they were playing chicken with one another. You know what I mean? And the only good thing one of the good things I will say is that the fight will be at 160. It's at the limit.
Yeah.
And Kell Brook won't have a problem making that fight. So.
Uh-huh.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Kell Brook got hurt though.
If Kell Brook what?
If if Kell Brook got hurt, I wouldn't be surprised if he got.
Oh no! Oh, of course.
Like before the fight, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, you think he might pull out?
I think, man, he ain't seen enough tape.
Yeah.
And Peter Quillen, Gabe Rosado said that Triple G is a motherfucker, and it was somebody else. Oh, Andre Burton said the same thing, and I've seen him 3 times. I think he's amazing in person, man. I've seen him 3 times. In person.
I watched him. Oh, I feel you. I watched him spar. And yeah. I watched him hurt some light heavyweights, cruiserweights. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, Golovkin is a beast. There's no doubt about that. And it is a hell of an uphill battle when you think about the fact, and I said that in my video, Kell Brook is not only fighting a middleweight, but he's fighting the strongest middleweight in the division. That's stronger than all of the other middleweights. So
I would say he's the strongest. He looks the strongest, I would say, at least.
Oh.
But here's the semantics of the problem, of the thing. Why didn't they do this with Ward? Why did they push Ward to Kovalat and Triple G down to HBO I'm talking about? Why did they push Triple G down to 147 and push Ward up to Kovalat in terms of who they fight?
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I
a.
mean? I'm excited to ask Peter Nelson that question because there's so many storylines to this. You know what I mean? Like they don't want HBO don't want their stars to fight each other. You know what I mean? Being Canelo, Triple G, and you know what I mean? They playing chicken with one another just to prolong it because they don't really have a budget this year. That's why Terrence Crawford and Postal
is on pay-per-view.
And Bob Arum is losing money, and you know, and this fight is so bad, Canelo, that they're promoting his December fight right now.
Yeah, that is bad. I mean, I'm telling you, man. Like I said earlier, I like the fight. I personally like the fight just because we're used to seeing Golovkin in there with Dominic Wade, with Willie Monroe, with Rubio, Adama. So it's like, I mean, that's why, like I was saying in my video, it's almost a shame when you're basically saying, hey, man, I like this step up, but unfortunately, it's a step up when it comes to a welterweight. I mean, it's like me looking in my refrigerator, and I want something good to drink. I'm used to, I don't know, sodas and Gatorade and all kind of shit, and all I got in there is water and milk. But I'm thirsty as hell, so maybe I pick the milk over the water. You know what I mean? And that milk almost tastes like soda because I'm so damn thirsty. Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much how this situation is. I feel like if you compare what we've been getting before, this seems like an interesting fight. I mean,
we are clamoring for a Triple G fight, though. I will say that we are clamoring for one, and on paper, it looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It looks spectacular. Even the picture that they took to begin the promotion looks amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Dante, how can a 157 guy stand up to Triple? I saw, man, Triple G got so much confidence, so much power. He allowed a 160-pound guy to hit him the last 2 times I saw me and Willie Monroe and Willie. He's like, hit me. Come on, hit me with your best shot. And truth be told, he's only fought one top 10 guy, Kell Brook.
Yeah, and it is kind of ironic the more we talk about the size disparity when you really think about the fact that the biggest killer, at least that's the perception, that this guy Golovkin is the biggest, hardest puncher, and then you even have Canelo Alvarez, who's considered a huge puncher, has a lot of power, right? You would not expect the 2 biggest punchers to be fighting smaller men. I mean, you would expect more of the fighters they say are pillow-fisted, like Floyd Mayweather, the ones they say don't get knockouts, like Andre Ward. You would kind of expect them to be doing that quicker than the strongest guys in the division to be fighting the smaller guys, you know. So that right there is you know, I mean, I won't blame that on Golovkin directly, but it's a hell of a coincidence. So we, you know, put it that way, you know.
And HBO is just excited to get out this year. Like, man, we made it through. Like, for real, they're like, man, let's just sustain our subscribers. Man, because we making it by the skin of our chin. You know what I mean? And especially with, and the funny thing is, I really like HBO's presentation of boxing. Sometimes, or a lot of times, I'm annoyed by Jim Lampley.
Completely.
But you know, I want to say this one thing, Dante. I was present, man. That interview I did with Jim Lampley at when Muhammad Ali passed away in the Vargas-Toledo fight, he moved me, man. He was telling that. He told the story before, but with the tears, he had boogers coming out of his nose. I was just like, wow. You know what I mean? So he pushed me more towards the middle after that interview, but overall, I'm impressed with the presentation of it. The commentary, I disagree with sometimes, but the presentation of HBO is much better than Showtime. But Showtime right now is putting on better fights.
So it's not even you know, competitive right now. It's not even close right now. I mean, and one thing I'm gonna say is it didn't move me. I mean, you know, I heard it, but my whole thing is, like I said, I've had so many decafs in my comment section. They discredit every single black fighter today, but then they will praise the shit out of Muhammad Ali. I mean, this is my whole thing. If you have to go all the way back to 40, 50, 60 years for one black fighter that you really admire and respect, I don't buy it. I don't buy it because of the fact that Muhammad Ali, he's the one that came up with the phrase, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Muhammad Ali, he moved around the ring more than Floyd Mayweather did. Muhammad Ali's philosophy was congruent with Floyd Mayweather's, Roy Jones Jr., Pernell Whitaker, and all these other American fighters that believe in the sweet science of the sport. And the reason why I added those other names, Roy Jones and Pernell Whitaker, it's because I have the actual clip of Jim Lampley not only discrediting Mayweather, so people can't say it's just because he doesn't like Mayweather personally, etc., etc. No, he included Roy Jones, Pernell Whitaker's name, right along with Floyd Mayweather's name. And he said he didn't really care too much for their style. And I'm paraphrasing, but you guys can watch the clip. But this is the gist of what he was saying. He said fans don't really want to watch fighters like Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones Jr., and Pernell Whitaker, despite them being good enough to advance all the way to the #1 spot in the sport of boxing. And he actually said that, okay? So it doesn't make sense to me that you like Muhammad Ali, but you don't care for Pernell Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather, and Roy Jones Jr., who works right next to Jim Lampley when they call fights today. That is no different than me telling you right now my favorite fighters are Jake LaMotta and Rocky Marciano, but I can't stand Gennady Golovkin. How does that make any sense? It doesn't make sense. And that is the reason why I do not buy it when I see this man crying for Muhammad Ali. I mean, just because you go to a funeral does not exonerate you from being a racist. I mean, Donald Sterling, he dates black women and he's still a racist. Yeah, because the whole thing is Muhammad Ali, as far as I'm concerned, he was going against other fighters on the coincidental list. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was beating down Rocky Marciano, Golovkin, Pacquiao, and all of these guys. It is hard for me to believe that if Muhammad Ali was here today and he was talking all that shit that he talks, but he was saying it about Golovkin, he was saying it about Pacquiao, he was saying all that kind of stuff. We heard what he said about Joe Frazier, you know what I mean? Well, imagine him saying that about Manny Pacquiao, just hypothetically, if they're in the same division. I could see Jim Lampley talking so much shit about Muhammad Ali on the Fight Game and all that other stuff because it's different, you know what I mean, when you're talking about the coincidental list versus the Gaddy list. So, you know, I mean, you know, it is what it is, but to me, once again, I just, you know, like you see people today talking about boxing and they don't have nothing positive to say about any of the black fighters today, but they'll tell you their favorite fighter is Mike Tyson, but you don't like fighters today like Errol Spence that are aggressive like Tyson or Keith Thurman or anybody. You know what I mean? It doesn't add up. But anyway, I know I jumped off subject, but you know how it goes.
No, you're right. And you mentioned Errol Spence. Now, the catch-22 is, did he do this to avoid fighting Earl Spence? Or delayed fighting Earl Spence and didn't say, oh, I can't make 147.
Say that again. Say that again.
Like, the catch is, did Kell take this fight thinking I can avoid or prolong Earl Spence from coming for my shot?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's definitely, that was the first, when I first heard Kell Brook say that he's thinking about either moving up or fighting Kell Brook next, I knew after he said that he wasn't trying to fight Errol Spence. I knew when he said that. I mean, if you really think about it, since Errol Spence knocked out Chris Algieri, we haven't even heard Kell Brook say anything about Errol Spence. And I was going to ask you about that too, Fred. I was about to say, what do you think about that? He would rather fight a middleweight than fight Errol Spence in his own division. I mean, don't get me wrong. Of course, I assume, he's going to make a little bit more money fighting against Golovkin. But still, at the same time, I truly believe that Kell Brook believes sincerely that Golovkin would be an easier fight than fighting Errol Spence. I truly believe he thinks that. I mean, it doesn't...
Stylistically, you're right. Stylistically, he is an easier fight because, man, it's Errol Spence is that 25-year-old kid, man. I don't know how old he is. I'm saying he's that young lion.
Yeah.
With all that testosterone, he's not set in his ways, and he don't truly know who he is as a boxer. He just knows he's one of the most talented boxers in the world. He don't know, like, well, I think he does everything in the ring. He does his footwork, he does the boxing, he fights the power, he goes to the body, he goes to the head, he throws the 1-2, Henderson throws another 1-2. So he has all that. Whereas you see the older fighters, they do what they do to win the fight, like a Floyd Mayweather, like Oscar De La Hoya late in his career. They just do what they do and lay around just to win the fight and get out and get that check.
Mm-hmm.
So stylistically, Triple G is a much easier fight in terms of...
It's just style. Yeah, minus the weight. Yeah.
I think Earl Spence got better footwork. We don't know if Triple G has defense. He hasn't had to use defense in 25 fights, so we really don't know. We really don't know, can Triple G take a punch? We've never seen him.
Yeah.
We've never seen him hurt. But like I said, I think he's a hell of a fighter, man. I think he's the best fighter in the world, and Andre Ward is the best. I think Andre Ward is the best collectively.
You think Golovkin is the best in the world?
Best fighter. Best fighter, like in terms of getting knocked out.
See,
I think he's the best. But I think overall, I think Andre Ward is better in terms of the whole package.
Yeah, and I know, Fred, we talked about that before.
Yeah, we already disagree.
No, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. I don't believe in separating fighter versus boxer, because that gives a lot of fans more of an excuse to take away credit from certain fighters. If someone like Floyd, when Floyd, when he's the best boxer in the world, now people they could say stuff like, oh, well, he's not the best fighter though. But listen, man, when you get in that ring and your job, is to hit someone in the face and not get hit, that is a fight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That is a fight. Because we don't. Another thing too is we really, like you said, we don't know how Golovkin is going to deal with adversity. We don't know how he's going to react when he gets staggered for the first time, or when he hits someone and they can walk through his power and they can hit just as hard as he can hit. We don't know how he's going to adjust in a situation like that, and we also don't know what he's going to do when he moves up in weight. Because one thing we do know is when Golovkin fought against Lemieux, keep in mind, that was the first time he was fighting like a real hard power puncher that was supposed to be aggressive. And you see he already changed his style and he fought more cautious. Now, now just imagine if he moved up 2 weight classes, because he was doing this against Lemieux. So imagine if he moved up 2 weight classes and he had to fight a Lemieux at light heavyweight, super middleweight, and they're not gun shy like Lemieux. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to see more of a boxer like we've seen in the Lemieux fight. That's why, you know, it's kind of hard to distinguish the two, I feel. But, yeah, but...
He hit so hard, though.
Oh, yeah. We agree on that. We agree. I seen him, once again, man, I seen him knock this dude down over and over and over again. And the dude was, I think he was a cruiserweight. You know, I ain't gonna say his name, but he knocked this dude over and over, you know, with body shots. You know what I mean? It was with nothing but body shots. So I know he's a beast, and I know he's capable. Golovkin is capable of being great, but he just has to go in there and he has to show us. That's just all is to it. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
He has to show us. You know, we can look at some nice ass cars on the car lot and we can expect that they run good as hell. But we got to test drive that car, you know what I mean? We got to, and probably keep it for a while, see how durable it is, you know? So that's what it is, though, man. But he is a beast, and it's unfortunate for Golovkin because, like you said, if Golovkin goes in here and he knocks Kell Brook out, then he was expected to knock him out because they are going to say he was a welterweight. So I like the fight, but realistically, it's win-win for Kell Brook. You know what I mean?
It's win-win. Yeah, it is. And the thing I have to say about this fight is it's literally 2 months away.
Yeah.
There's not a 4-month, so we literally can just push through a couple of weeks and guess what? It's 4 weeks left because we got a whole bunch of fights in July, and by the time we wake up in the first week of August, it's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So which is exciting. It's not a 4-month window where we got to sit and wait for the fight and stay anxious. So it keeps us looking forward to something.
Yep.
So that's a good thing about us being boxing fans. You know, it's just fortunate that on the other side of the velvet rope and we have access to these guys. But
yep.
I wish I can go to this fight. You know what I mean? I wish I can go, but the numbers don't make sense for me to go.
Yeah.
But, it's God, man. It's a sexy fight, man. To me, it's a sexy fight. It's a conversation piece.
Uh-huh.
But he has no chance. I mean, careful with that. Man, he has no chance, Dante.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I feel you. It's a steep hill to climb, man. It's a steep mountain to climb. You know, if they were, listen, I'll tell you this right now, no, Fred. If they were both naturally the same size, who would you be picking?
If they were naturally the same size?
Yeah.
If they both were naturally the same size, they got the same resume.
Yeah, but I would say if they were to, pretty much. I mean,
I say resume, but I would say based off the Sean Porter's last performance, I would favor Kell Brook.
That's what I was about to say. If we're comparing resume, I still believe Sean Porter. You know, he's much better than anyone on Golovkin's resume. I mean, just like you said, look at what Sean Porter did against Keith Thurman. You know, now imagine if Sean Porter was a natural middleweight and he was leaning on Golovkin like that. He was taking Golovkin's best shots and still coming forward. You know, that would be an extremely competitive fight. But I truly go ahead. No, I truly.
You just reminded me of a thought because I remember at the fight we did a big spread on Sean Porter. We thought he was gonna win the fight in the newspaper, right? And I got to the fight, and when Kell Brook took off his robe, I said, "Damn, this guy looks like a Greek guy. He looks so much bigger than Sean Porter." So I would say that he cheated the game. I mean, I think Kell Brook is a disciplined guy. He runs, he eats well. Just because when you see him in person, he looks like he weighs 175 pounds because he carries so much muscle. You know? And I think on paper, it's a great fight, man. It's a great fight, like Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis. It's a great fight.
On paper.
You know, we can do this shit in Memphis. Wherever they fought, we're going to do this in Memphis. We're going to have 1.5 million pay-per-views. Even Mike Tyson, 20 years later, said, I knew I couldn't beat that guy, but I had to sell the fight.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, and yeah, at the time he almost act like he pretty much
Yeah,
knew.
like
I mean, it was,
this shit, you know what I mean?
yeah, it was
Uh,
pretty. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a prime Tyson, but I see what you're saying. But let me ask you this though, Fred, who do you think Golovkin should have picked in this situation?
if you can't get a 160 guy like a Joseph or Saunders,
Uh
Andrade or one of the Charlos. If he
huh.
goes down one division, yeah.
You said, oh man, oh, I would love that. You said if he went down a division though, right?
If he went down to 54, he should go to the Andrade, Charlos, and the Lars. If he goes up, he should test waters with the Darrell, then the James Miguel. Badu Jack really has no money involved, but he has a strap. He has a green strap. So Miguel, Badu Jack, or the Darrell brothers in that realm, So it's funny. It's funny we mention all these names. All roads lead through PBC.
Yep.
All you're like, damn, like, oh, they have all these great fighters.
Man,
Fighters. They're not great chefs, but all these good fighters,
and think about it,
And,
and it's only been like what, 2 years when it comes to the emergence, and not even 2 years.
Keep coming. It's been a year and a couple of months.
Man.
They're doing a hell of a job over there.
Oh
They're
yeah.
doing a hell of a job. And actually, come to think about it, Tom Roper is doing a real good job. They're not making the money they want. Because Triple G can't, but they're doing a real good job with Triple G because keep in mind, he's 35, 36, 34, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
They're doing a good job at protecting him. You know what I mean? And they got the Mexican style. They got all the Mexicans. If you're an anti-fighter, I'm talking about marketing. If you are an anti-black fighter, meaning you have the Mexicans and the whites on your side, you're gonna be a favorite. You get what I'm saying in terms, and that's just the landscape of boxing. It's nothing that will be until the sun runs out of heat.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the ticket. So.
Yeah. No doubt about it. But I mean, the way I'm reading these comments, Fred, and just from what you said, and looking at the response of the boxing fans, it seems like they're starting to put the same kind of pressure on Golovkin that they put on Canelo Alvarez. And
oh, you're right.
yeah. I mean, every single comment is, cherry pick, and even like I say, regardless if I say I like the fight, a lot of the fans, they are extremely disappointed because once again, this is the big bully in the division. This is the big monster in the division. You don't expect him. Yeah, you expect him to be taking on the bigger, tougher guys, because he's one of the big guys, So, I think the pressure, and I said it before, Canelo deciding not to fight Golovkin, it kind of screwed both Canelo and Golovkin, because now Golovkin, he has to go elsewhere to try to become a star, and eventually he's going to have to step up in competition and take a risk to become a star, So.
I mean, what's next? I mean, Triple G should just fight Chocolatito next.
and it would probably sell, and it would probably sell.
Because he looks like because Chocolatito looks like a brother in the air when he's not training anyway. You know what I mean?
Oh man, see, that's hey.
It's exciting because we don't have any really strong fights this week, but after next week we got Deontay Wilder, we got Carl Frampton.
Yeah.
We got something to look forward to, man. But
and I'm
you think it's a good fight. I'm glad you think it's a good fight.
Yeah.
I don't think I think it's just a sexy fight. I think it just looks good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like Terry Norris, Sugar Ray Leonard. I remember that as a kid. He beat the shit out of Sugar Ray Leonard, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Wait. Well, say it again one more time. You said who beat
Terry Norris. Remember Terry Norris
beat the shit out of Sugar Ray Leonard? You said?
Yeah, didn't he?
Oh yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard.
It looked good on paper. He was retiring though, but it looks good. Like, oh my God, people are nostalgic.
Yeah.
We gonna gonna sell this fight. Man,
Yeah.
He gonna beat the living shit out of him.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good example. That's a good example. I mean, yeah, maybe.
He ain't got enough, man. Dante, he don't have enough, man. He don't have enough. And
Yeah.
that clip that you got needs to go viral. Like, God, man, that's a million-ass clip you got, dude.
Oh
Man,
man.
when I heard that shit, today before I left to go cover the jury, I was like, holy shit. He said, oh, no, too small.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's kind of hard to sell the fight, when you say some shit like that, But
Yeah. Then Tom Rafa might even pay you to not even promote that shit. For real, because that's like because they're trying to say that it's a pay-per-view across the pond. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh wait. Did you say they're trying to sell it? This is not gonna be pay-per-view, is it?
No, but I think, remember, Sky Sports was all they pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
All the big fights, I think they got to pay over there for it. As an American, we get it free.
Uh-huh.
We pay the $17 extra a month to HBO.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting fight. It's
Yeah.
gonna be interesting pre-hype because this is where you think they'll do a press run in LA and New York probably, and then across the pond. I don't know.
You said, do I think it's gonna be what?
I hope they do a press run in LA.
Oh, of course they have to. They have to sell the fight. I mean, it's already. I mean, with the type of backlash they're already receiving, they're gonna have to try to sell this fight as best as they can.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, I really do wonder. Does Kell Brook struggle at welterweight? Is he walking around at like 180 and we don't know about it? I mean, I do wonder if that'll factor in at all. Probably not. Hey, how tall is Kell Brook? What is he, like 5? He's like 5'8". He's like 5.
I think he's 5'9".
Like
I think he's
5'9".
5'9".
Yeah. It's a tough. It's a tough uphill battle, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. It's another situation like Amir Khan, where Amir Khan, he basically had to go 12 rounds without getting caught at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Like I said, I made the comparison to when you're playing Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and you playing a handicap match where you start the round off with just a quarter of health, right? And the other guy has a full energy bar, and you got to beat him without getting touched. That's the situation that Kell Brook is in. But I wonder, I mean, because one thing about Kell, and I don't know how much this is going to help him, but he is good with tying up on the inside.
But Sean Porter is shorter. He has leverage. He doesn't weigh as much. Doesn't have this. Kell Brook's got great muscle density. He's very strong. I don't know what his fat content is, but he has great density to his muscle. He may even come in looking better than Triple G on fight night.
But you said that's going to be just for show.
It's a pony show, right? Well, like the great Chick Hearn says when the Lakers are playing and the chances of team beating the Lakers in 8, he says, Chick Hearn would always say, well, your chances are slim and none. So he needs Hussein Rahman right hand and I don't know, it's gonna take a lot.
It's gonna take a lot. He says, man, it's unfortunate, man. It's really unfortunate that we didn't get to see Golovkin challenge Andre Ward. I mean, it almost makes you wonder, is Golovkin dealing with some sort of karma? I mean, just like Paulie Malignaggi said, he said Canelo is doing to Golovkin exactly what Golovkin did to Andre Ward. And now look, Golovkin, he doesn't have, now since he didn't fight Ward, he doesn't have Canelo, he doesn't have Floyd Mayweather, he may not even have the other champions at the middleweight division. So it's making him really look elsewhere, and that could be dangerous. That could be really dangerous. So.
And you actually had a really good interview with
Abel Sanchez.
Virgil.
Oh, okay.
And he alluded to that, and he said the pressure, HBO put pressure on Andre Ward to move up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
to fight a Kovalev and
So that they could protect Golovkin. Yeah.
man, they're protecting Golovkin because they know that only they know their window is so much smaller with Golovkin because of his age.
Uh-huh.
You know, and once Golovkin loses, it's over. Like when Mike Tyson got beat, it's like, although he was still Mike Tyson, the invincibility is gone, like the public perception of him. So, you know, he's still in the room, but it's air, not helium. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not, it don't have that,
I know what you mean.
yeah, you know, so,
Yeah, the body.
Triple D as long as they can.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't too many more welterweights. I think they're gonna fight. So.
Hey, what's all that? These guys are picking on welterweights and they taking the fight, man.
Yeah, and they taking the fight. So, hey,
American is woke yet. You know what I mean? He got knocked the hell out.
something. Hey, something else I just thought about is then you have to ask the question. You know, when are fighters like Canelo and Golovkin, when are they going to be willing to do what they're asking their opponents to do, which is move up in weight? We've seen Andre Ward do it, and that's something else Virgil Hunter said after the Amir Khan fight. He said, you know, we stepped up in weight to take the challenge. Now let's see Canelo do it. And many people, they're going to ask that about Golovkin as well. All right. I mean, I know he wants to unify the belts, but if you can't unify the belts and there's nothing else at the middleweight division, we see Kell Brook move up to fight you. So that means Golovkin could easily move up to 168 and fight the best fighters at 168 eventually, right? So
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
But that's our job too. That's our job.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's our job. Like, hey, okay, now we see you. You convinced the public that this is a good fight. Now we need you to take the Brooks. We need you to be great. And you know another thing too, I just thought about right now. Triple G cannot be a pound-for-pound king now.
No,
He can't.
not without the opponents, not without the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Mayweathers, the fighters that basically propel your career. No.
Yeah, he's not a pound-for-pound. He's not a pound. He can't be a pound-for-pound king. You know what I mean? And it's Dante. This is going to be fun to talk about for the next 9 weeks or 8 weeks, however long it is. It is such a compelling fight because it looks good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Kim Kardashian has a fake ass, guys, and it's not real.
Oh,
I'm trying to
man.
tell y'all, it's not real. He doesn't have the power or
Yeah.
the sustainability or the durability to hang with the Triple G.
Yeah.
And I would be, you know what? I would be glad to be wrong, because he took the fight, not because I don't like Triple G.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, of course not.
Oh man, the biggest upset of the year this far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun to talk about for sure, man. And so now Canelo is gonna fight Liam Smith, but in actuality, they should be pushing. They should sign a contract
Ward. Yeah.
A 3-fight contract, and we fighting at the end of the year.
Yeah, of course. And the fact that Canelo didn't do that, it clearly suggests they're really not that interested in taking a Golovkin fight. I told you, like I said in my video, I interviewed Canelo Alvarez's trainers, and they said they're not planning on moving to middleweight for at least another 2 to 3 fights, and they said maybe, so that don't sound too promising to me. So
No, you're right.
yeah, I mean, to me, and once again, if Golovkin were to step up in competition and let's say beat someone, not Kell Brook because everyone is expecting him to beat him, but if let's say he were to beat Danny Jacobs, if he were to knock out Danny Jacobs or something like that, if Canelo wasn't willing to fight him before he stepped up in competition, why would he be willing to fight Canelo after he knocks out even better competition and he doesn't look exposed? He doesn't get exposed. You know what I mean? So yeah,
It makes a whole lot of
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense. So yeah, I don't think that fight is going to happen, but I think this this is going to affect both Canelo and Golovkin if they don't fight each other, because they have to look for another Canelo or Golovkin to fight. You know, so yeah, man, we'll see, man, we'll see. But good talk on that, man. And yeah, I'm going to Alabama. I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh, you are?
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's good work. That's good work.
Yeah.
How's that family going? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. I figured what I wanted to basically do is I wanted to make up for not making it out to New York, so I said, yeah,
That's exciting stuff.
yeah.
I'm excited for that fight, too. We're going to have a fight party.
Oh,
Get
okay.
ready for that one.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to have a fight party. So that should be exciting. I would be remiss not talking about what's going on since I'm in black press and we're both in black media.
Of course, of course. I'm watching it. I'm watching it right now, and as you talk, I'm watching the breaking news right now on MSNBC as we talk right now. But
It's like I've done a handful of videos on my channel, but what I want people to fully understand, Dante, it is impossible for me to view life as not a black man.
of course not.
Right? And people say, oh, you playing the black card. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're doing that.
And that's to try to silence you, and that's just a tactic to try to silence you.
Racism happened in the 60s or slavery ended in 1865, but when in actuality, systemic racism is still here, and I am so proud. Like, I was in LA, the game, and Snoop Dogg had a march. They met with the mayor today. I'm so glad now that it's sad you got to continuously take lives for us to have an action. But I think cops killing 2 people in 2 days, I should say assassinating and executing 2 black men in 2 days, it woke a lot of people up. In addition to waking black people up and wanting them to pick up arms and fight, whether it be physical or whether it be mental or whether it be however you want to fight spiritually. White people are like, damn, this shit really happened.
Yeah.
Asians are like, this shit really happened. Or Armenians are like, damn, this shit really happens, Because you can't go through life if this shit don't exist.
Of course not.
The past 2 days is worse than worldwide news, Dante.
Oh, of course.
And we both have boys, you know what I mean? And it's, at the end of the day, we want the world to be a better place because we got to leave it. We can't. If Walt Disney can't stay alive, we sure can't. You know what I mean? So it's got to be, we want to leave the world in a better place and we want our children to be safe. And I was having a conversation with a guy. He says, blacks and Latinos are the only 2 people on earth that have to have a conversation with their kids on how to converse with the police.
Yeah. When everyone else is talking about the birds and the bees, you got to teach your kids, how to put your hands up and, be submissive as possible when you see a cop.
Man, it's
I'm already. Look.
It's a tough pill. It's a tough pill to swallow. The gift and the curse of whoever assassinating those 5 cops is, oh shit, there may be more people out there, and I don't even know that it was a person that they say did it because it's kind of too coincidental. You know what I mean? For that to happen.
I mean,
Black Lives Matter rallies all over America the past year, and they chose this time to do it. So it's just kind of skeptical to me. And first they said he shot himself. Then they identified the man, and he actually came with his brother, and his brother was on CNN saying, "My brother didn't kill nobody. He gave his gun to someone else." And then I go on Tyree's timeline. There's a video of him actually giving the cop his gun because he wanted to be in a peaceful rally, but he didn't have a permit to bear arms. And then they say they took in a robot that detonated a bomb. So there's so much. And they said it was 3, and now they say it's 1 shooter, 1 sniper, excuse me. So there's a whole lot of, stories out there, and I don't know which is true. But the bottom line is, we have people's attention.
No.
And it's just not even a Band-Aid anymore. It's like unveiling the sheet over like a bloody body, trying to, that's that they thought was dead. You know, like you take the sheet off. You know what I mean? And now you have this black population, like we're suffocating. You know, because of systemic racism and ignorance, like intentional ignorance upon everyone else, pretending like this shit is not a reality. You know, you and I were having a conversation. I'm not gonna mention their name, but remember after the fight in Vegas, we were having a conversation. I was like,
you know, I ain't gonna never forget it.
Leave these motherfuckers. Let's just leave these
Yeah.
motherfuckers because they don't fucking get it.
Yeah.
Curse their ass like, y'all don't fucking get it. Y'all think the world is just all peachy and clean, and just because you have a credential to go to fight, and I don't have a credential to fight, that doesn't make us fucking equal. We are not equal.
But
You know what I'm saying? Our roads are different.
but see,
You know what I mean? And
but see, he knew. But he knew life wasn't peaches and cream. He knew that these double standards existed. They know this already, but they don't want to be associated with the guilt. That's what it is. Because they know that if they admit to it, then they have to look themselves in the mirror and basically feel guilty and say, well, actually, it's my fault. You know what I'm saying? That these people are getting treated. I'm one of the people treating these black fighters like this, et cetera, et cetera. That's the reason why they want to act like it doesn't exist. Like I told that guy. I told him that, and this is when we should have left. And I always say, you know, when I think about that conversation, I should have left right after I told him. Even Abel Sanchez even said it himself. He said the reason why, you know the reason why I decided to work with Golovkin when he first came out here, not so many people knew who he was. I decided to work with him. You know why, Dante? Because he was white. And I knew that he would sell. You got a guy with power and he's white. This is what Abel Sanchez told me. So it's like one, and he just sat there and he shook his head like, no, I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it. That's what people do when it comes to these police shootings. This is the reason why I say the coincidental list obviously goes way beyond boxing. You know, and we seeing that right now on TV right now. And you have the same type of people outside of boxing that do the exact same thing. They play ignorant, they play naive, and they try to act like it doesn't exist. And all this does is exacerbates the situation. You know, it makes it, it makes it even worse. You know, it's like when I look at these police shootings, I always use these analogies this analogy when I talk about this. I say that's like me and you right now, Fred. We decide to go out and start robbing banks. We get caught, right? And then they let us go. We go to court and they say, okay, go ahead. Everything is good. Just give us back the money and you could go home. And me and you, what we gonna do? We gonna look at each other like, what? So we gonna keep robbing banks, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna keep robbing banks, and this is exactly how the cops, they look at these black lives. You know, when they watch the news and they see Trayvon get killed and all these other people get killed, Alton Sterling and whatnot, when they see them get killed and they see the cops don't even lose salary, they don't even lose a day at work, that makes them other racist cops say, oh man, this is something I've been wanting to do all my life, right? So that encourages them to do it even more. So the great thing about, and I don't know if great is too strong of a word, but the great thing about what we sing, like you said, it's a gift and a curse. The fact that you have these killings and then you have, cops getting killed. If you really think about it, it was only a matter of time, because once people realize that protesting and hashtags is not getting us nowhere, eventually somebody is going to say, let's fight fire with fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once the other side, once they see that someone that they feel closer to, that someone that they identify more because that person looks more like them or whatever, once they see that person getting hurt, that's when they say, oh, you know what? Now I see what they were talking about. This is wrong, right? So I look at it this way, when we seen them cops, get killed, we don't want to see anyone get killed, right? But the way the media and everyone feels when them cops get killed, like, oh, we got to find these guys. We got to find these guys right away, et cetera, et cetera. We're not going to stand for this. That's exactly how they should be reacting when innocent people get killed by cops. You know what I mean? Because we're supposed to. I mean, if you really think about it, you can almost look at it this way: a cop should be getting punished even more because we're supposed to.
That's what I said all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, we on the same page because we're supposed to trust them when a criminal is chasing us with a gun and or whatever, or we're running to the police. I need you to help me. I need you to help me. That's the main person that's supposed to be that we're supposed to trust. So, so that's why it's offensive to me when I hear the media say stuff like, well, now that these cops got killed, now, we lose, they're going to lose the trust that they had, for the citizens, et cetera, et cetera. Wait a minute. The trust has been gone a long time ago when it comes to protecting and serving, right? So the bottom line, Fred, is if they start reacting and treating, those innocent black people that get killed by police the same way they treat, the victims or the suspects that killed the cops, then this problem would be gone. It's annoying when you keep hearing people say stuff like, how do we fix this problem? Man, this is the easiest problem in the world to fix.
And you know what the sad truth? No, not the sad truth. I mean, when a butterfly effect crosses the railroad tracks, and then they start paying attention. Like for example, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump didn't give no press conference. How can you not have a press conference about back-to-back killings and you're
running for president? That's an excellent point.
So you mean to tell me you don't need the black vote? Yeah. Hillary Clinton, you think that you have the black vote already because your husband is Bill Clinton and he was quote-unquote the first black president, which was ridiculous because he smoked marijuana?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And because she do the dab, what is it, the dab or whatever?
And she called it a dab. She called it a dab. She was a sister lion boy with no booty. But yeah, man, it's exciting that all eyes is on what can we do now. Like for real. Like now it's like, what can we do now?
Yeah.
And we have the attention of people who were not paying attention.
Yeah. And, I mean,
we use the ignorance card. Go ahead.
And something else too, Fred, because I'm listening to, the analysts and everyone on TV talk about this, and they keep sitting over here, what should we do? What should we do? It amazes me that no one has ever said, on TV, have any of you guys ever thought about the fact that you have black cops, you have Latino cops, you have Asian cops, because they was talking about the training. Maybe it's the training. Maybe they're just not trained. Okay, so what are you saying? Are you saying the Latino cops, the black cops, the Asian cops are trained better? Because they're not killing white, unarmed kids by the thousands, by the hundreds. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's only common sense. If you just look at that right there, that tells you what time it is. And on top of that, a lot of these police shootings, they happen in demographics in cities where a lot of times, like Missouri, for example, where Michael Brown got killed, that area was like 75% black, right? So why don't they try to do a little bit of an experiment and say, you know what, let's put, cops, police officers of their peers, in this area, and let's see if we get the same type of stats when it comes to police shootings, right? Because because we know white cops in white neighborhoods, we don't see these type of alarming numbers of unarmed, white people reaching for their wallet or, getting killed, right? So let's experiment a little bit. You got cops pulling off their body cam, their body camera and all that kind of stuff now.
That's a fraud. You know why that's a fraud? Because they went in, I'm talking about Austin Sterling, because they went in and took the surveillance from the store. Mm-hmm. So now they're going to release piece by piece to try and frame this kid into, he probably was drunk,
Of course.
He put the gun, so they're just framing him as we speak.
Of course.
In a court of public opinion, because keep in mind, the jurors come from where he was killed.
Mm-hmm.
That county or that city, so their job, they can give a damn about what America thinks. they got to convince the local news in that region and those 12 jurors that they're going to put in that trial and be like, oh, he's guilty. He was guilty before the cops even assassinated him or executed him. He shot that kid like, 6 to 12 inches away from his head.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he sure did.
That's execution.
Yep.
That's execution, man. And I'm excited to be a part of what we do next. You know, I'm definitely excited, man. I love to fight, man. So I'm definitely excited to be a part of this, man. And you know what I'm saying? Because in the school system, they do the teacher next door program.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you get a discount on a home, and you're able to live in the area where you actually teach because they want to inspire people who look like you that go to that school. And it's the same thing that they should do with police officers, man. Police officer next door, and you know, and it's
Look, you're right, man. You're right. But like I said, I mean, obviously, all they have to do is look at the stats. Look at the stats and ask yourself. I mean, for the naive that don't obviously see it, just look at the stats and ask yourself, why are no unarmed white people getting killed, getting shot 40 times like Diallo, getting shot 6 times like Sterling? You know,
52 like Sean Bell.
Yeah.
52 times like Sean Bell in New York.
Exactly. You know, like you brought up the dude we talked to, who, by the way, we ain't gonna mention his name, but he's one of the reporters that you guys probably watch on YouTube. But
for sure, he has a big following.
yeah. But his type of ignorance, him being or acting, I ain't gonna say being naive, acting that naive is exactly why these problems continue to escalate. Because people, they want to act like it doesn't exist. You know, when you put heat on the situation, and I mean everyone, not just black people, but when everyone puts heat on the situation, when the situation goes from national news to worldwide news, that's when the pressure is strong. You know what I mean? That's why we got a Trayvon Martin trial, even though we got no justice. But we got that trial because of the pressure, because everyone was talking about it, you know? And you know, that's why it is important to talk about this stuff, because the same things that happen in boxing is the same things that's happening outside of boxing. It's not a coincidence the least respected fighters in boxing happen to be the same color of the people who keep getting shot and getting no justice for it, right? Yeah. Just like fighters on a coincidental list, they get no justice. You know, they asked Floyd Mayweather to fight Manny Pacquiao. He fights Pacquiao, then they turn around and say it was the worst fight ever. You got ESPN saying, oh, it was boring, and we blame it on Mayweather only. Not Pacquiao, but only Mayweather. You know, it was the worst fight ever. No justice. It's the same thing, you know, it reverberates, you know. So, yeah, man, the bottom line is we got to keep talking about this stuff, and that's the reason why we always speak the truth when it comes to this boxing stuff. You know, that's why people like me, you know, Fred, Barbershop Conversations, when we interview these cats, we ask them the tough questions, and when we report the news, we expose the double standards, and each one teach one. You know, we want everyone to start doing this. We don't want to be the only ones doing it. That's how you get justice, and you know, and that's what it is, man. That's what it is, man. So, but yeah, man, I think we pretty much covered everything, man. Shit, I don't even know.
It's 59 minutes and 2 seconds. It's too much of my time, guys.
It ain't. It's not even showing the timer on here. But I think we started. It's been about an hour. What, about an hour and a half, probably. Yeah. Oh man, that's the real work right there. That's the real work right there. But yeah, man. But yeah, it's so funny too, because it's like, as I'm talking to you, I'm watching it on TV, and I was thinking about the shit I mean, because you can't help but to think about this while we're talking about this. It's impossible, right? It's it's a good thing, you know, we talk about this. And before let you go, I will say I really do hope that everyone gets the message from what happened in these last 2 days. I just hope everyone gets the message, you know, and there could finally be, you know, a ceasefire on both sides, because we don't want this to turn into what it looks like right now is a race war. I remember it was funny too, and this reminds me of boxing, because we hear this all the time where, you know, people, they deny the facts, they deny stuff that they don't want to admit is the truth, and then as soon as they deny it, all of a sudden a boxer comes out and he completely confirms everything we already knew, and we like I told you that happened last night. You know, when I was listening to, you know, the pundits and the reporters, they were basically trying to act naive, and they were saying, oh, maybe it had nothing to do with the Sterling shootings. Maybe this was, you know, ISIS. Maybe this was terrorists. They in so much denial because they don't want to, you know, admit that this may have escalated because no one, you know, nipped this situation in the bud. And then as soon as that reporter said that, it was like 10 minutes later, and Chief Mike Brown, you know, he started talking, and all of a sudden he says exactly, you know, what we already knew, that this person, he was talking about he wanted to kill police officers. He's talking about he wanted to kill white people in retaliation. He was tired of what's been going on with all the shootings, et cetera, you know, and regardless if you think that maybe it was other people involved, or maybe that story, you know, maybe there's more to the story. The bottom line is there's no way you could sit over here and say that had nothing to do with retaliation. There's no way. It's no way, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say on the situation. But
Well, it's an ongoing. You and I should have to further this conversation. You know what I mean? In addition to.
yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, just to keep it going. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I think the irony of the catch is we're in a better place in terms of the conversation, but it took too many lives to get here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, there's too many children waking up on Saturday morning. They got to play catch with their mother. You know what I mean? Like that's not cool at all.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And we have to do our part. You know, like I was yelling at the other day. I was mad at Kevin Hart the other day because I was like, 2 black kids just got killed. We give you all our money, and you posting about partying and stuff like that. And you're the only celebrity on my timeline that I follow. You're the only celebrity that hasn't posted anything about 2 black kids being assassinated. Mm-hmm. You know, I was just livid. And then he did a commentary today, and he didn't choose what side he was on. He just said, "Oh, just stop." He didn't say, you know what I mean? He was trying to stay in the middle because he don't want to hurt his pocket.
Really?
You know, and I was kind of bothered.
Oh, wow.
You got to go to his Instagram and listen. He said something, but it's not like he didn't say Sterling. He didn't say, you know, he didn't say what happened in Minnesota or Dallas. He just said, this got to stop. This got to stop. You know, I'm watching the news. This got to stop. You know what I mean? He was just fearful.
You said, wait, you said he did say this got to stop, but he didn't elaborate. Is that what you said?
He didn't elaborate. He was talking on a macro level, like he wasn't specific. You know what I mean? But those 5 police officers that were murdered, their kids got to wake up tomorrow Saturday morning and go to soccer with their mom instead of their mom and dad. That's rough. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the same thing in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I mean, that 15-year-old kid that cried on national TV, I mean, he can't go to band practice or, you know, science lab practice without he goes with only his mother now. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's a sad and humbling truth. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man, it's deep, man. It's deep. But anyway, man. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. I'm gonna be here 2 days trying to break this up. You know, so.
Appreciate you calling doing the interview, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, for sure, man. Good talk, man.
Yeah, tell the people to go to Barbershop Conversation and subscribe, and appreciate everybody supporting, and it's going to
All day.
sit back and see. Yeah, Carol Brooks, can he do it? And we'll see what happens on the other side of the fence with these race relations.
That's right. And real talk, y'all. You know, once again, there's not too many people out there telling the truth and telling it like it is, confronting some of these hypocrites in the sport of boxing. And my man, Barbershop Conversations, he does that. So seriously, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. And that's what it is, man. So I'll hit you up on the next one, fam.
All right, appreciate you, Dante.
All right, man. Catch up with you, dog. All right, man. Later.
This is Bobby, and you're watching Dante's